Welcome back to the Rockman Power Hour, a podcast where we talk to the most interesting people in the world of pop culture and everywhere in between. Ryan, it's been a minute since we've done one of these.
It's been a hell of a minute. You know the expression, it's been a minute. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's hilarious every single time, but it's been a little bit, but it's not for lack of trying. We've been so busy, especially you, Jason. You are incredibly, your life is incredibly full. And sometimes I look at your Instagram and I hear and see things that I had no idea existed, and here they are. It's like Jason is doing a ribbon cutting in Antarctica, and,
No,
and then he's in Toronto doing something else. And
well, no, he hasn't.
yeah.
It's just been, I think with the holidays and stuff. And I don't know about
Mm.
you, but I needed a bit of a break just to, not
Oh
that I
yeah.
got one, but I needed just a bit of yeah, I think it's good just to get a bit of a reset,
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, the holidays, I mean, I Christmas hard. I do the holidays pretty hard.
You
I
do. You
I
do.
die hard during Christmas time, except I don't die, but yeah. And it was kind of nice to just, I think you and I want to do the show when we enjoy it doing the show and like to do the show, and when we're juggling everything else, it's just like, let's not let ever this show be a hindrance. Let's let it be the best part of our day. And right now I'm
Yeah.
having the best part of it by talking to you.
Well, there you go. And I think sometimes you just need to, it's just good to take a step back and just be like, all right, let's, we do a lot in the last part of the year because we are involved with those Comic Cons. So we have like two cons, like pretty much three that are like in a mad rush, like, September,
Yeah.
October, two in October. And then November happens and and I went away and then the holidays and it was just like, yeah. So it was like, I think it's best to, but we've got, an episode coming next week that an
Mm.
interview that we've been sitting on forever, which I'm excited about, but,
Yeah, I
um,
have I have a cold that I had in October or like the beginning of November. I think we recorded it, so I had no voice then, but I have the
oh,
voice in
really?
this one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I don't
but
want, I don't want to tell anybody
yeah.
who it's with, but, we should definitely talk about, the things that are coming up in the next few months because there's a lot of really crazy shit coming up, that we're
Yeah.
thinking of doing like for the new year. So I think we
Mm.
should let people know that, yeah, it's February now, but we're already thinking about stuff that we're going to be doing. Like we want to go to Niagara Falls to the Niagara
Yeah.
Comic Con in June. I was talking to Julia today about maybe going to MegaCon again because Liv
Mm.
Tyler's going to be there. So I haven't talked to you about that yet, but we're gonna call you and go, hey, you want to go to MegaCon? Because we found a crazy no, we found a crazy deal for like 4 nights hotel
Okay.
and the
Whoa.
flight was $500, which is
Okay, that
Canadian.
yeah, because I almost lost my shirt going to Vegas last minute in November and then didn't, which
Yeah.
really puts things in perspective when you say how low that is. That's crazy.
$500. Yeah. And we had such a good time at MegaCon last year.
We did.
So I was, anyways, but, yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up in the new year. I think we're going to have, we're going to talk because we're going for a drive this weekend or next weekend.
Mhm.
No, this weekend, because it'll be this weekend when we put this out, or will it be?
Mhm.
No, it'll be next weekend.
Yeah, it'll be
But
next weekend.
we've got, we're going to drive. So Julie and I were sitting because Julie's our producer. She helps us put this thing together. And, she and I were chatting. We're like, we should really look at doing some, because we've talked for forever about doing features, like little features in the show, like, the geek question of the week and this and that.
Mm.
And we were thinking about like really trying to bring some consistent like pacing, where we talk about certain things. You and I talk about maybe a movie that we saw, maybe like, anything, but but I think we're going to have a big chat about that on the way to Quebec. And we should really let people know that whenever you and I and Julia sit and we hammer something out, we usually come up with some really good ideas. And I think we've got a couple of really cool ones to take the show into a little bit of a different direction, not a big different direction, but like just have stuff, like we've done it sometimes with guests where we're like, all right, what's your favorite thing you've ever collected? And then someone will be like, well, I don't collect anything, or I collect memories, or
Yeah.
then they'll say something that they collect. Like Alan Parsons. Remember when he showed us, was it Alan Parsons that showed us the Thunderbirds? No,
No,
it
that
was
was Glenn
Steve, it was
Matlock
Glenn
from
Matlock,
the
the Sex
Sex
Pistols.
Pistols.
That he was the one that talked about the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, that's kind of a humble brag in a way where you mix up Alan Parsons and the bass player of the Sex Pistols. It's like
Yeah.
our guest list is pretty cool.
We've had some pretty cool people on the show. No, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool when we get to know the guests. Like I used to do this show on CJAD called On the Record, where I would talk to
Mhm.
people about their music. Like it sounds like, oh, it's like everybody does this, but it was really unique because I would have the same questions. I would ask them, like, the first music they remember hearing, the
Mm,
first album they bought, the first concert they went to, their favorite band, like things like that. They were the same questions, but because you ask those questions, it goes into so many different directions. Like, it can
yeah,
spark a conversation. It could spark you going in all kinds of different places. So
yeah.
I think having those kind of similar questions that you ask people, it could really be interesting. So
Yeah, I love asking musicians about like what movies they like because they go hard. Their fandom usually goes into something that they don't understand.
mhm.
Like they'll look at our musicians and be like, "Oh, they're like me," but these legends, they're better and they get paid more. But with acting, there's this mysticism to it, and actors love talking about music.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, they kinda like talking about something that's not in their world, and they don't get asked that very often. And I remember during the actors strike at Comic-Con, I was talking to the dude who plays Vecna, and I
Yeah.
had to not talk to him about his acting. So we had to talk about his band, and he was delighted to talk about it.
Yeah, of
So,
course. It's because
yeah,
for them, it's something completely different.
yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's something interesting that's going to be coming up. We've got a couple of great episodes to start off this new year. This one today, who I'm very excited about because it's someone I've known for a little bit. And if you grew up in Montreal, in Canada, if you're a rock and roll fan in the '70s, like, this band was prevalent and still is, especially at Canadian rock radio, and beloved around the world. So I'm excited about that, and I'm very excited about next week's episode too, because I think next week's episode people are going to really, really, it's very unique, and it's something I didn't know too much about. But um, you are tell me a little bit about what you've been doing besides working, because I know you've been doing some fun stuff.
Uh, you know what? Luckily, the word work and the word fun is almost intertwined a lot of the time. I've been
Mm.
working a lot with this band called Fatal Switch, just
Yep.
doing a whole bunch of. They've
See,
been really,
repping their beanie.
yeah, yeah, repping their beanie. They actually gave me this beanie. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want advertisement, give me a free hat. It will go a long way. But yeah, I we did a whole media blitz day where we did joke interviews, real interviews. They interviewed each other like almost in a podcast way. It's very fascinating. So follow Fatal Switch on Instagram in all their socials because all that's going to be coming out. But also they are going to be playing based on a music video I made with them. They were booked to play this the first ever pit fight wrestling show. It's going to be happening at Piranha Bar on the 26th of February, the
Nice.
last Thursday of February, and my friend Sam's one of the promoters. And it's going to be great because a lot of wrestlers, one of the wrestlers that was in this music video I made with them was this guy, dude named Maniacal Moretas, who you know very well, and you
Mikey, yeah.
introduced me to him, but weeks earlier when we were at a WWE event, and then when he showed up to the shoot, my good friend Frank Milano said, "I'm going to bring this guy with me. He's going to be the other guy in the video." I'm like, "Cool. If you can vouch for him." Then he walks in. I'm like, "Mikey!" So
Yeah.
that's one of those beautiful it all was meant to be situations. So it all is accumulating to this live show, and Maniacal's there, and some other friends of ours are there, and Sexy Eddie, as you know, he's going to be there. So it's really cool. That's what's happening at the end of the month, and I'm kind of counting down the days, to be honest.
Nice, nice. And we got Quebec coming up, and are you? Is there any movies that you've seen that you've been excited about? Like, you didn't see Send Help yet, right?
No,
Or
but
did you?
I want to because I'm a Sam Raimi-aholic.
Yeah,
And life just keeps like pulling me back as I'm about to go. It's like slowly yanking me back.
yeah.
Well, that sounds weird. Anyway, yeah, I can't seem to get to the theater, but I want to see it in theater because I've seen every Sam Raimi movie in a theater that has come out in my lifetime that I've been old enough to go to them.
Right.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really,
Mm.
Send Help is awesome. Probably, I mean, there was a couple of the first movie I saw of 2026 was Primate.
Mhm. Oh,
Primate
okay.
Primate was
I hear interesting things about that. How is it?
it's very gory. It's very gory. It's like under, I think it's 87 minutes or just under 90 minutes.
Okay.
It's fun. It's lots of fun. I mean, listen, you know me. I go
Mhm.
in, no, I don't go in, with this thing like, oh, like, what's the director's motivation, and what's he trying to, like, it's a fucking movie. Like, I just wanted to go have a good time, and I had a great time. I had a lot of
Mm.
fun. I went with Priya, and my daughter, and she was like, we both were like, wow, that was really fun. Like, it was super fun. But so far, I think Send Help's been the favorite thing I've seen.
I think you would really like this weird, dark movie I saw called The Iron Lung, and it was
Mm,
made by this very famous YouTuber who
okay.
self-financed it. He wrote, directed, produced
Heard a
it.
lot about it. Yeah.
It's based off of a video game, but it's just so kind of like there's decisions made in that movie that I'm like, a studio would have stopped him from doing this. Like it
Right.
just kind of starts, and you're at the same time, you're like, wait, what the hell's happening? Where is he? And that kind of discombobulation is not what studios, because your average audience wants instant gratification. Otherwise, they're just going to stop streaming or move on
Yeah, for sure.
and
For
and
sure.
and
Definitely.
and and to be locked into a movie theater being like, well, we're here, let's let this unfold and actually stick with it. I was like, I could see where maybe that would be a criticism somewhere, but I think myself, I think you, and I think people in general who like genre movies would just be very impressed with how daring it is in certain situations and how minimal it is and how you don't always need this big CGI explanation of a world. Sometimes you just got to stick in one little area and just peek behind the curtains and just
Mm.
be horrified by what you're seeing. And sometimes you don't need to see the monster and the brightest light in order to be terrified of it. In fact,
Did you go?
sometimes it's the opposite.
Did you stream it or did you go see it?
I went to see it. I went to
Okay.
see it on the Thursday it came out because
Okay.
our friend Dan Perron told me about it like months earlier, saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
this movie's going to be coming out, and the guy is hiring cinemas to play his movie. Like no
Yeah.
studio said, "Hey, we're going to put this in theaters." He did it,
Yeah.
and that's impressive. You know what? I'm really impressed by the youth of today, I should say, or all of his audience for showing up because that first screening I went to was sold out. There
Really?
wasn't
Eh?
a yeah,
Nice.
this one of these big theaters in Scotiabank downtown. So everybody put their money where their mouth is and went and supported this YouTube creator, and he did a
Yeah.
good job. So
I,
makes me feel kind of inspired, actually.
I've heard good
Yeah.
things about it, man. And
Mm.
you put on any kind of event, especially when you're not from that city and you're just going from city to city trying to put it together. It's like, yeah, it's,
I've seen independent movies hit the cinemas and just like a tumbleweed goes by where no one's paying attention. So whatever he did, he got the word out because if every it reminded me of the old days actually when of a roaring cinema like that. And
yeah,
it's not a movie that you cheer to, you know what I mean? It's pretty dark and disturbing. It goes there. So
yeah,
it was really cool. I'm really glad I went, and thank you to my friend, our friends Josh and Ezra for telling me about it and telling me about that they were going, inviting me. I'm really really glad I went because I'm not exactly getting out as much anymore. So glad I shaked off the cobwebs and spontaneously did something because I want to do more of that in 2026.
yeah, man, you got to go out and do fun stuff. Well, speaking
Yeah.
of fun stuff, before
Mm,
we get to our guest, I've been talking about it on socials and stuff, and I'm going to talk about it obviously in the next month coming up, but
yeah.
we're putting on this really, really cool thing on March 6th at Cinema du Musée, which is something that I'm super excited about because it's two of my favorite horror movies from the 70s. Um, and we're going to do a double feature of The Omen and The Exorcist. And
That's
I'm
cool.
very excited about that because it's it all kind of started with that Black Christmas screening that you went to, where
Yeah.
Amy, my partner now, Amy Boucher,
Mm,
Dave Boucher's sister. Well, she's more than Dave Boucher's sister, but if you know Dave from extensive like the booking agent, Dave's a great guy. He puts on a ton of hardcore and death metal and metal shows in the city. He's a great promoter, awesome dude, real big fan. You've seen him at Fantasia a bunch. Like he's like he's one of us. He's a massive nerd into all the like the stuff we're into. And his sister is a really really good tattoo artist.
yeah.
And she's really into horror movies. And she reached out to me right around Christmas time, just before Christmas, and was like, I want to do a screening of Black Christmas, and I just don't know how to do it. So I was like, well, let me think. So I was like,
Mm,
well, let me ask my friend King,
yeah.
who works with Fantasia, and he does a lot of screenings, and he knows about this stuff, and he organized. And then it just kind of blossomed into this like three-headed monster that all helped each other, and then we got the thing off the ground, and it ended up working. So we all sat and we said, let's maybe do another one. I said, I want to do The Exorcist and The Omen as a double feature. And then, so I went to Cinema du Musée and I reached out to them. And then it just ended up being this thing where it was like, wow, this could be really a lot of fun. This could be a really, really fun thing to do. We could maybe do 4 of these a year and have fun with it and bring retro cinema. Like, there's a lot of people that do it. Like, there's the Concordia has the Film Society and Montreal Film Society, I believe they're called. And I've been to their events, or the Concordia Film Society, but I've been to their events many times. Did you come to see then when they did, you probably seen it before. You probably, when Babbins did it years ago at the Dollar Cinema, when they do Dark Side of the
Yeah.
Moon
Yeah.
with Wizard of
I'm
Oz
the one who put the music. I'm the one who put the music to the movie.
for Babbins, the one Babbins
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's another person did it. And so there's lots of people that do these kind of things, but we really wanted to try to do something a little bit more, I don't know, like a lot of people have
Mm.
their thing. Well, it's got to be shown on film, like it's fine if it's shown, if there's a 4K master that we watch, like I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be shown.
you proved that in Winnipeg when we saw Army of Darkness. It looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Like, if you have a good digital projector, DLP projector, and you've got like a good source that's like 4K, like fuck, it's going to look incredible. So
Mm.
we were excited about this. We brought my friend Maurice in to do graphics, and he did this incredible poster. And with Amy's art, and it's just like the whole thing is just going to be a lot of fun. So if you're a horror fan, which I know you are, March 6th, we're doing that at Cinema du Musée, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be more to come for that. So maybe something to get you, out of your winter blues, or at least something to look forward to. Cause I know I fucking need something to look forward to when it's cold like this. Cause it's gross, man. It's been so cold here that like just having a project to think about, besides work and besides other things, it's nice to have that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I had a good time at Black Christmas, except we were in a place where, it was charming, it was cool. We're in a place, but it was not your typical theater seat. And after a while, my ass hurt a lot. But then we went to see at Cinema Musée. With that thinking, oh God, my ass hurts. We went to see all 3 Star Wars movies on your birthday, actually. And we, by Return of the Jedi, my body felt fine. I just don't like Return of the Jedi anymore, apparently, because me and your son were watching it with like laser intensity after watching Empire Strikes Back like an hour before, and we're like, oh my God, what a dip in quality. Holy shit.
Yeah,
now I understand what all those curmudgeon 25-year-olds in 1983 were thinking. We're like, yeah, we get it. But anyway, Cinema Musée, great place, really social place. I like the idea that between the movies, people will probably talk amongst themselves. It's got lovely concessions. I know it sounds like a big commercial for the theater, but I'm gonna say, if you're gonna watch a double feature, I think this is the one cinema in town I would want to.
It's a very comfortable place. It's got space.
Yeah.
And Julia and I went to go see a movie last Sunday there. And I don't want to talk about the movie because I hated it. So I don't want to say anything. I really didn't like it at all. But I'll tell you one, I love the venue. I love Cinema du Musée, and I absolutely love their popcorn, their buttered popcorn. Probably the best buttered popcorn I've had. You go to Cineplex and they make you pay like another $1.50 for butter, for real butter.
Yeah.
The the popcorn is so fucking good. I don't know what it is, but it's just so good. It's really, really good. And when you go to a small chain like that cinema chain, which they have Cinema du Musée, they have Cinema du Parc, and they have Cinema Beaubien, like they're independent, they're small. You want to go spend money at the concessions. You don't want to sneak stuff in like you do at other theaters.
That's true. And you know what? Shout out to Cinema du Parc. I mentioned Sam before, was one of the promoters for Pit Fight Wrestling PFW.
Yeah.
Sam surprised me. I was just gawking at this shirt they had because they had all this horror programming.
Yeah. It's called Cinema à Minuit. It's like midnight.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Park at night. Park à Minuit, I think it's called.
And there's a shirt where they just had every little bit of movies they were screening, a little piece of it, and I just loved the shirt. And Sam went and surprised me and got me one. So shout out to Sam. Really appreciate that. But I will say I love Cinema du Parc. But what I love about Cinema Musée, it's right next to Guy Concordia Metro, and really, like, you're there in a second. And to me, who lives far, it didn't seem that bad. It was great. So yeah. Now that we've kissed this theater's ass, I suggest
definitely go check it out.
You use your ass and sit in those seats.
You know what movie I saw there? Marty Supreme.
Oh, I want to see Marty fucking Supreme.
Have you ever seen one of these?
Bad.
Is a Marty Supreme
I
ping pong
not
racket.
not to talk about another podcast or whatever on our podcast, but on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend,
Yeah,
um, Josh Safdie was on it talking about Marty Supreme
good movie, man.
and how much he loves Forrest Gump and how he loved the scene where he became like a table tennis player. And that's
Yep.
kind of how that started out of the pursuit of this film.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Well,
like, I'm just I love the fucking Safdies. And
yep.
they have this movie called they have this show called The Curse that's so fucked up and so cool on Crave, and I gotta jump back into it. They're just brilliant. They made this movie called Good Time starring Robert Pattinson years ago, and it was at Fantasia, and that's the first time I realized this Twilight guy is more than Twilight guys. So when he was
Yep.
announced as Batman, and people were like, ugh, I'm like, no, give this guy is the guy. Trust me,
Yeah,
like the
definitely.
range on this guy is insane. Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, let's jump into this week's guest because he's someone that I think a lot of people are going to be excited about.
Yeah.
Legendary guitar player for the band April Wine. Not quite a founding member, but man, he's been in the band long enough.
He joined the band when they were the April Wine, ready to go international. Up until that point, they're just like they had a Canadian cult following, but this is when
Yeah,
they took the band national, and he jumped on board and just took them to another level.
absolutely kills it. Great guitar player, great person, and I'm really excited we got him on the show. Been in the back of my mind to have him on ever since we started the podcast, and the fact that we got to finally have him on is great. So, without any further ado, Brian Greenway from April Wine. Hey, let's press record. All right, cool.
Yep.
So, Brian, this is Ryan. He's my co-host.
Hi,
How's it
Ryan.
going? Hi, Brian.
Good.
I sense a
And,
sitcom in our future because that's a lot of fun to say right after another.
The
There's
Brian
a
and
way-
Ryan show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian and Ryan and Jason.
So the last time I saw you was opening up for BTO in Abbotsford, BC. I had
Yeah.
just flown in to see my brother, and I saw you guys were playing, so I reached out to Mark, and Mark was like, "I'll put you on the guest list."
Yeah.
and it was so fun to see April Wine in another province besides Quebec, because that's the only time I've ever seen you guys.
Did it sound any different?
It was amazing. It gave me a tremendous amount of pride because
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
obviously being from Montreal and growing up with you guys,
Yeah.
being able to see you somewhere else in another part of the country and see the reaction to the songs, it really, really, I had a tremendous amount of pride, and it was just nice to be able to say hi to you guys after.
It was great to see. It was such a surprise. I mean,
Um,
just to like you seeing the band, it was for me seeing somebody from Montreal in Abbotsford.
yeah, exactly. So, let me ask you this. Obviously, you've been doing this for a long time with the band. You've been at it since the late '70s. You've probably seen a lot of changes because the music business has gone through a lot of ups and
Yeah.
downs, a lot of changes and trends. But it seems like what I've always loved about this band, and what seems to be the truth when it comes to April Wine, it's really about the songs.
Yeah.
The songs carry. The songs go from generation to generation. And now there's this Triumph tour that gets announced, and then you guys get chosen as the support. That's got to be really, really cool, because there was a time when giants walked the earth, when it came to bands like Triumph and all those bands from that era, and to see them all coming around to do a victory lap, it's got to be fun to be a part of that and be in that conversation.
It really is. Especially going on the road with people
Yeah.
in both bands, and I'm sure the crews will be the same. So it's just going to be, I won't say party because that sounds so 70s, but we're going to have a good time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's going to
a
be
great package. I think that the two bands together, both arena bands, and we're playing arenas. It's really a nice kick at the can again.
Yeah, 100%. And when you come off a tour like the one you did with BTO, and you are playing arenas, is it cool to get back on the stage and to play those big venues again? Because again, I've seen you in every imaginable, I've seen you from a Smoke Meat Pete's to an arena. So that's what I mean. Like, I've seen you play. I mean, I've seen you play everywhere. So it's got to be fun to be able to get back up there and do it in an arena.
it's hard to beat Pete's meat, you know. But one of my gay friends said, "Such a pity." I missed doing the arenas because I love them. I love
Sure.
the size of it, the big stage, the way it smells and feels, the
Yeah.
air, the looking up and seeing audiences rather than just looking down off the stage.
Right.
And when they are on your side and they applaud, it's like nothing else. And we had them at one point lighting up their phones like we used to light matches, for
Yeah.
Miles's memory before, just between you and me, and that was exceptional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to see all that, it had such depth, and it's something you never want to stop doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine. And it's also, it's so nostalgic for so many people. For me, the idea of bringing, my kid to see a show like this, and having them go, man, this music's so good. Like we don't have bands like this anymore. And I'm like, yeah, we don't. But I really do believe that every time you hear those words, rock and roll is dead. It just when they say rock and roll is dead, there's a group of bands that come around that prove that rock's not dead. And then it just makes this resurgence, which is, I've always been, one to believe that rock's never going to go away.
No, we're just napping. We get back up again. It's like when
Rock
the pub
can be
closes.
resuscitated. It just needs
Yeah,
mouth resuscitation.
we're just going home to sleep. We're back.
It's you're mentioning, Jason, about bringing your kids in this new generation, but it's really fun also is that when you're talking about a stadium, that's a stadium full of friends seeing old friends as well. And sometimes when you see a band you all grew up upon, especially two bands like that, it's kind of like a family reunion because the audience knows each other too. And a lot of
Yeah.
those Lost 80s live events that Jason and I go to, we see a lot of old friends there too. So it is a excuse to all get together and appreciate what we love at the same time. And that's something that the pandemic almost took away from all of us because
Yeah.
it's one thing to have a singular experience and say, wow, I love this, but it's another thing to scream along with like 10,000 other people at the top of your lungs in one direction for the same purpose.
Yeah, you all come together. It's great when the audience is just into it and you can feel the
Yeah.
magic. Uh, well, when last show I saw, I think it was Simple Minds at the Bell Center,
I was there too.
and when they started singing na 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 na,
Yeah. 7 minutes. I think it
yeah,
was
the
long.
crowd wouldn't stop. You were there. It was incredible. I'm getting
Yeah.
shivers thinking about it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
When you're at that type of show, man, that's a memory. And the band is so lucky to have something like that because that's the audience doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. It shows that the audience cares and they're along for the ride. Um, I mentioned seeing you guys on the BTO tour. When you see, you guys announce a tour with Triumph, and then you see that the Guess Who are going back out. Did you know when you were out with with Randy that was happening? Did you guys were you privy to any of that info that was going to happen?
No, no, it was their camp's news. But
Yeah.
we knew, you could see in the press and we knew that Burton and Randy were suing to get the name back.
Yeah. So
And
to see
I
that,
figured they sooner or later they would. And I said, there's going to be a great tour out of this. I have tickets for it, but unfortunately, I'm going to be away.
you're going to be on tour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Maybe they'll postpone it. No, they won't. I'll be away. Yeah. It's going to
So
be great. And
yeah,
Rush going out.
that's what I mean. It's a great time and I always tell people, if you've never seen these bands, you got to go because it's like Simple Minds, perfect example. I saw Simple Minds for the first time. I think it was '85 at the Montreal Forum
Yeah.
on the Once Upon a Time tour. And then they came back, they came back to Metropolis.
Yep.
They hadn't been here in 30 something years. And I remember at the time I was working at Showman, I was like, we've got to cover this. This band you have no idea how important this band is to Montreal still. And they came back to Metropolis again, and then they come back to the Bell Center. So it shows you that, people will go see these bands and this fan base will grow, and it's cyclical, to
Yep.
see. So, talking about what we were saying too at the beginning of this, like seeing bands come and seeing them in small venues. I think whenever you get a chance to see any band that you haven't seen before that is quote unquote legacy, you should really, really go see them.
Yeah, and to see them in both places is very interesting because
Yes.
it's you see them up so close in a place like Club Soda or you know Saint Denis Theater. It's
Yeah.
uh, it's not the feel of the big rooms.
No.
It
Mm.
No.
feels different. The sound's different. You know, you feel different because you've come in a front door rather than various you know, and you're not going down all these stairs.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the gigantic vastness of the arenas, but the sound is so clear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can, and providing that the sound man hasn't juiced it all the way up. When the sound's in a small place, you can you sound like you're listening to to the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's kind of funny though when a band who's used to playing stadiums brings their same gear when they're playing smaller venues, and your eardrums it's like getting stabbed in the ears with loud forks. It's
Yeah, we're
it's pretty
guilty of that. We're,
interesting.
we're guilty of that, Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of places now have dB limits,
Okay.
Yeah.
you know, and you really have to tailor your show. When we did those shows with Steve Miller,
Mm.
Yeah.
a week of shows, they wanted to keep the limit down to 95 dB, which is really quiet.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got to
Some
be.
shows I'm at, I'm just kind of like, why can I hear myself chewing? Like
Yeah.
it should be louder. There's a disconnect sometimes, but then you have those magical venues and bands that just seem to everything works at the same time and you feel like you experience something magical. But there
Yeah.
are those other nights. Yeah.
Oh yeah, loud is loud. I can't stand loud anymore. Even us on stage. I, I, we were doing. I was using in-ear monitors decades ago, and then when we got back
Mm.
together, we weren't carrying a monitor guy with us all the time, which is really necessary to get your mix every night. And the
Sure.
files were getting corrupted. The digital files were getting corrupted going into the monitors that were at the house, monitor boards of the house. So I just gave up, went back to wedges. But now we just came back from Europe, and once again, I was told you're too loud on stage. Glorious sound through those two cabinets with 8 speakers and hitting it, you know. But no, you're too loud.
Yeah.
And so I've gone back to monitors, and now I don't even hear the cabinets. So they're so quiet on stage, but we still have them coming out. So the front row still hears music, not just the drums off the stage.
Yeah.
When you're right up front, you notice now they have those little speakers just so you're when the PA is sort of beside you, you're not going to
Yeah.
hear much. So they got those little fills there. But
Oh yeah.
and even the guys were saying, yeah, you know, you're playing tighter. We're tighter because you can hear everybody. But years ago with April Wine, when we were just having wedges, we were allowed to be me and then Miles and then Jerry and then Steve Lang and Gary on the other side. And I never heard anything past Jerry. You know?
And fuck, I mean, Jerry used to hit so hard too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And just so I'm just playing my parts and hoping the other guys are playing too.
You know, it's I've known Mark for a little bit, and I'm never it never ceases to amaze me how good of a singer he is.
Yeah.
He's a really, really good singer, but he also seems like the kind of guy that, you know, if you have to have a guy in the band that's going to carry on the legacy and sing the parts, you want to have someone like him, because not only does he do justice to the parts, but he just is such a nice guy. And he's got such a nice way about him. And you can tell that there's a genuine respect to the material. How did you guys come upon Mark, and how did you find him?
We're not sure. He just kind of followed us around. No, he actually was going to audition for the role. Sounds like a movie now, but the role of Miles back in 2014, when Miles wanted to quit and bring somebody in. He'd not go on the road anymore. But his kids were too young then, so he waited, and he waited. The opportunity arose again in 2021 in the fall, and we approached him once again, and Richard knew him. Richard Lantier, our bass player, and Miles wanted to hear some demos, so we were listening to him in the car with the band as we were traveling, and he said, "What do you think, guys?" I said, "He sounds pretty good. In fact, he sounds a lot like you, Miles, you know."
Yeah.
And the clincher came when Miles was playing Mark on his demos, And somebody called Miles, and Miles picked up the phone. His friends, they're talking. His friend says, "Oh, is that new material you're got going in the background?" He says, "No, that's the guy that maybe become the singer." He says, "Oh, I thought it was you." And Miles said, "Right there, okay, sold."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. That's so Canadian too, for just to be like, I don't want to tour anymore, but here, guys, go. As
Yeah,
opposed to, nope, my band, fuck off. Everyone else going to retirement because I don't feel like doing this. I think that's very cool that he said to you specifically, hey, take it,
yeah,
keep playing.
it was
Yeah.
great, and
Mm,
it because that would have been horrible for us. Just
of
all of a
course.
mhm.
sudden you're out of work.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to get back there. You can go out as a band, but try to go out individually. It's not the same thing. Even he
No,
experienced that. People
yeah,
want to
no, no.
see April Wine, not formerly of April Wine.
Of yeah, no, it's always hard when you're, I think people are forgiving when it comes to, if the band's willing to go and people can see through it. I've seen it. I've seen bands go out with the name of the actual band, maybe different members, but when the intention's not pure, you can feel it and people react to it. But with April Wine, you can tell people love it. They're in. What I find really, really cool about Mark, and it kind of bums me out, and I hope you guys give him a bit of a break at one point so we can get
Oh,
back
no,
to this.
never, never, never,
No, but
never.
wait. I'm a big Steely Dan fan. And
Yeah,
supposedly he was in a killer Steely band cover band because he
he
sent me
was.
some clips on YouTube. They were amazing. So do you think they'll ever, I know it's weird to ask you this question, I should ask him this, but will we ever see that Steely band tribute band come back for a couple of shows?
I have no idea. It wouldn't
You
be
should
us.
ask him.
I mean,
But did you ever get to see him do that?
no, I didn't.
'Cause
I
would you,
saw some. I saw some of the COVID demos that they did,
yeah,
videos that they did.
crazy,
It was
crazy.
very, very good. Yeah. I mean,
Because
so
that's
Mm.
super good players. That's not easy music to do.
no, that's what I mean. To go and say, okay, we're gonna be a cover band. Yeah, all right, we're gonna be a Kiss cover band. We're gonna maybe be a Stones cover band, but we're gonna be a Steely Dan cover band. I mean,
Yeah.
that's suicide. I think.
Although I've
I
seen a
would.
lot of cover bands before. Ever seen the OSM play Beethoven? It's exactly like it.
I
Symphony
I know
orchestras, they're all cover bands when they play all that stuff.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
But
That's a good way of
band,
putting
but
it.
you get a band, and like you say, and we have detractors too that
Yeah,
say no, the band hasn't been the same since Miles left. It's not the original band. I say to myself, the original band had Jimmy Henman and David Henman and Richie Henman and Miles. And once
yeah,
Jim Henman left the band, it wasn't original anymore. And that was in
yeah,
1970.
yeah. That's what I mean. It gets so dumb. It gets so stupid when people start with their
I mean,
opinions.
how original do you have to be? You know?
Yeah. Interesting you bring them up. I first heard of April Wine as a punk rock teenager because I was in a friend group with Sam Henman, Richie's daughter.
No kidding.
And Richie's like, and she's like, yeah, my dad used to play in a band called April
I know
Wine.
Sam.
So
Did
yeah,
we ever meet
Sam's
at the
awesome.
house?
I don't think so. I haven't
Mm,
seen Richie and her in so many
okay.
years, but that was always cool. And my mom's childhood friends with Frank Marino, so it was always kind of like this orbit of '70s Canadian rock go- idols and gods, like being the adults as a child. But as sometimes you grow up and then you kind of realize, oh, wait a second. April Wine was the first Canadian band to ever be played on MTV. April Wine was one of the first Canadian bands that would do cross country tours. Like this is, it's very interesting. And you came into the band at a very interesting time because they bring up the original band. But when you came in, all of a sudden it seemed like the rest of the world was ready to hear April Wine after so many years of them being strictly a Canadian
Yeah.
band.
I got
What was that like?
I got lucky with that, that they asked me.
Mm,
I had actually gone to speak with Miles in 1973 when David and Richie left because I wanted to be the guitar player. But
Mhm.
he says, well, we'll see. But he got Gary Moffat instead,
Right.
which in hindsight, that was a better choice because at that time, Gary was far superior to the musician and the stuff they were playing. I wouldn't have been able to play it that way. So they had a
mhm.
good bed, and then Miles was starting to write a lot of rock songs when the time I joined. And my
Yeah.
style was just naturally blues rock, which it was my style. Miles had a different style, and Gary had a different style. The three guitars were like three different vocalists that blended together so nicely.
Yeah, almost like a Canadian version of the Eagles in a way, where it's like, I was so impressed seeing that everybody sang and everybody played, and just that many guitar players on stage at once. It was actually interesting because I was listening to this part where you guys are all playing harmonics together. I'm like, wow, this heavy metal would take a lot of this in about 10 or 15 years. This would kind of become the way of playing, but to have three guitar players on stage at once, that must have been a very full van or tour bus, I should say.
You could do a lot with it live. I mean, in
Yeah.
the studio, everybody had a different way to how to play things. Gary had
Hmm.
different different backgrounds and influences. But live, you could take one guitar playing a verse, and then a second guitar doubling that, and then the third guitar coming in on the chorus. Just the triple threat, we called it, or three guitars, no waiting. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's and it was interesting because a lot of bands at that point were doing the same thing. And not so much
Mhm.
the harmonies, but it was natural to go there. But just what you could do with chords and power chords with three guitars was thunderous.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
It's
could
just
you could get that double tracking effect that you had in the studio.
yeah, exactly. And it
Yeah.
just fills up so nicely. Do you guys get the bug to write new stuff? Because, I know we had the album in 2001 and then we had, that last thing in 2006, but do you think we'll get more material or new material from you guys?
Given the chance, probably I'd love to see it. Right now we're labelless,
Yeah.
and there is a record of the last show. I would say record set to go of last show we did with Miles live.
Oh,
That's
wow.
already been edited and done. I don't know when they're going to release that or how they're going to release that.
Okay.
But for fans of that era, it'd be a treasure.
No kidding.
Uh, how it's a difficult horse to climb on
Sure.
without him there, because
Yeah.
now you're writing what will it sound like. If you try to sound like him, you're trying to be him. If you stray too far, you're not being him. you know it's just like when you released a single after another single. You're supposed to sound like the last single, but if it does too much, it's no good. If it strays too far, you've lost it. It's
I
a
mean,
very fine line to walk.
no, for sure. And really there's enough in the catalog that you guys can just continue playing this and make people happy. But I imagine as yourself as an artist is, and maybe not, maybe you're good, but is there ever a part of you that's like, I would love to be able to just maybe try to write something with Mark and see what happens?
Yeah, I would.
Mm.
We've messed around. We just figuring out each other's styles.
Sure.
He's uh he's got a degree in jazz vocals, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not something I.
That's a thing
Yeah, not something I go.
that exists.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. Yeah, I've got a degree in absolutely nothing.
Me too.
Yeah,
I went to the school of hard knocks.
I
Are
saw
you?
you there.
I've been given the third degree multiple times.
Yeah, no. So we haven't had the time when
Yeah.
we get home because we've been. It's getting together. He's being a single parent, and he
Yeah.
gets the kids back and forth. And I get home, and I get things done. And the difference between the town and me living out here, trying to get over the Ulator Bridge to see him in traffic, it's
Yeah.
sort of you can't do it. And where he lives, you can't be noisy, and it's hard. It's difficult to get around in Montreal.
For sure. For sure. And it's,
In and out. So yeah, and that's not an excuse because we
no,
could send stuff back and forth electronically, and I hope we do. We just haven't got around to that yet.
well,
We bring out little parts here and there, but we haven't even had time during sound checks to just goof around and
yeah.
jam on something because they're so controlled for
Well, yeah,
time.
especially, yeah, and if you're supporting, you have a time on and off, and you got to respect that. So
Yeah.
that's the touring machine. I know we only have a couple more minutes with you, but let me just ask you this: what would be something that you're into, maybe as a fan, something that you collect, something that people would be very surprised to find out about you? Like Ryan and I, where we collect, like I collect all kinds of toys and vinyl and comic books, but what is something that maybe you collect or that you're a fan of that people would be surprised to hear?
I I really don't collect anything. I
Okay.
go lately. I've been building a little video studio and getting cameras and all kinds of stuff to set up. I like to get in doing podcasts. I thought of an idea maybe of a little episode, or maybe 6 or 7, 10 episodes of me on like a YouTube type thing, showing people how I play my parts and how I
Oh,
got
right.
that
Yeah, yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
People love that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think might be interesting. So I'm working up how to do that, and
Okay.
that's kind of like a hobby I get. The rest of the times, I spend all my time really with my dogs and my
Okay.
wife.
How many dogs do you have?
We've had up to three. We had pugs. Now we have a Calvin and Hobbes mix where we have a pug and a chocolate lab.
Okay.
And
All
the
right.
chocolate lab was a COVID, just pre-COVID dog. So he grew up during COVID around me, and he sticks to me like a dirty shirt, you know. They say
I'm
if a
very
dog really
jealous.
loves you, they're going to follow you everywhere, and these do.
Yeah.
So
That's
they're I hate to say it, but they're my furry kids, you know. And I just love them. To have the love of a dog and to be the person your dog thinks you are is something.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're look, I have two of them. They're very, very special. Both mine are rescues. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's I got them through Animatch, which is not far from where you are, and they're just it's special. Like the contact, you know, the bond between a dog and a human is pretty special.
yeah.
Ryan too has a
And
dog, so
And because of that, I'm downstairs now, but he's hearing my voice upstairs. And as soon as it goes quiet, he's going to start barking for me to come upstairs. So I can't come down here really during the day and play guitar and sing because he hears me, but he won't come downstairs.
yeah.
So it's frustrating. So I go, you know, and he's got the ball in his mouth and drop it. Come on, we're going outside to play ball. Okay. So I play ball with the dog and I play ball with a chocolate lab and that's what I do in life.
I love it. I love it.
What does he do when you go on tour though? He must freak
Not
out.
happy.
Do you get
Not
Oh,
happy.
okay.
Oh boy, when he saw me after 6 weeks being away on the BTO tour, he's playing outside, and he ran by the deck, and all of a sudden I can see him see me out of the corner of his eye. He just stopped and leapt into the air and ran to me. You know? And it was like it's so happy. It's such a joy. You leave for 6 weeks or 6 minutes. It's the same reaction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're just happy.
Where have you
Brian,
been? I said, missing persons.
thank you so much for taking the time. I really encourage people to check this band out. When you hit the road with Triumph, it's going to be a great tour. You know, just all the buzz around the Triumph tour has been amazing. And just to be able to see you guys as part of that conversation and in there with them made me really happy. So keep kicking ass, stay healthy out there. Give my best to Mark. Tell him I love Steely
I
Dan.
will,
And hopefully
Jason.
tell him to play that Steely Dan tribute band again. I want to see
Yeah,
it.
really, really good talking to you and you too, Ryan.
Yeah, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks so
Take
much.
care. Bye for now.
It's fine. April Wine, bona fide legends, incredible songwriters, incredible players.
Yeah.
It's really cool that just Miles pretty much said to him, like, here it is, as opposed to two competitive versions of a band on tour at the same time, which
Yeah.
has happened
Yeah.
multiple times.
Oh yeah.
It's still happening now with other bands. It's really cool that there was no bad blood. There, you know, it is what it is right now, and it's actually a beautiful thing. I before this interview happened, I wanted to do more research, and I was watching a documentary on them, and it's pretty incredible, man. How
Yeah.
how everything
Yeah.
happened.
No, and the fact that they're going on tour with Triumph, which is amazing. I mean, obviously, April Wine's touring all the time. They're always doing shows. I think this weekend this Saturday they're in Quebec City for 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday at Théâtre Capitale.
Too bad it wasn't next week, huh?
I know. And then they're going out west,
Yeah.
but then they kick off the tour with Triumph, and this is the tour that a lot of people were very, very, very excited about because Triumph decided after years of not being together and playing that they were going to get together and play. Like they had done one, you know, they had that Triumph documentary that was incredible. They
Incredible.
had a few shows here and there, but they're actually going out on the road, and you know, they're going to have a few more people on stage with them. So a lot of people are saying it's a Triumph tribute band. Like people that I follow regularly that I know in my life were just like shitting all over this reunion. And I was like, what the fuck? First of all, if you watch any classic band that's from 50 years ago or 45 or whatever, they definitely have extra musicians with them. Like there's nothing fucking wrong with that. To beef up the sound, like I would rather that than playing to a bunch of fucking tracks. Like
Yeah.
at least they're, you know, and like I don't know. It's just people, everybody just wants to shit on things right out of the gate. And the Triumph, like it got so bad that they had to clear up, like they had to post something. They announced the tour. Okay. Everyone was going mad for this. They said Rock and Roll Machine Reloaded tour with April 1, 50th anniversary, kicks off in April. And then they had to put out a few days after, they had to put out a fucking clarification thing. And I want to read it. Okay. It says December 10th, they put this out. We want to clear up something that popped up during the tour announcement. This is not a tribute band tour. This is a Triumph tour. We're putting in the work to bring our show and our songs back to you, the fans. And to help us deliver a truly world-class show, we've recruited a few friends, Todd Kearns from Slash's band and Brett Fritz, and Phil X, who we've had on the podcast from Bon Jovi. They're all going to be there. Like, will they sometimes not be playing? Like, will one or two of the members, like maybe one of the members will sit one song out? Like, it doesn't matter. Just shut the fuck up and be happy you're seeing Triumph. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think what happened was Rick Emmett did an interview, like a year ago, saying that we're looking at options. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a hologram thing. Maybe we don't know. And someone ran with that interview, and it was like, if you do a little bit of fucking research, you'll realize those quotes were from a year ago, and a lot changes in a fucking year when a band sits down and decides they want to do this. I took real offense to this because I'm a big Triumph fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a knock to a lot of news sites out there, whether if it's Music Geek or whatever.
Yeah.
You guys are just posting every fucking day because you need clicks.
Yeah.
And you're going to say outrageous shit despite the fact of what ramifications it does to people, just because you need these clicks to justify why you exist. And you're just turning the world upside down. It's just like, stop chasing clicks and just put out proper news again.
Well, anyways, I'm excited for Brian, and I'm excited for April 1 to have that opportunity to be on that Triumph tour. It's coming to Montreal May 1st, which I'm very, very excited about. The exact same night that Sepultura is coming back to Montreal. So that is going to be really hard to learn how to clone myself, but I'm going to figure it out. But yeah.
Oh my God, with Max? Sepultura with Max?
No, Sepultura's not with Max. Sepultura, when we saw Derek and we were like, oh, this is the last time we're seeing Sepultura. No, they're coming back one more time.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it would have been good either with Max or with Derek, but I'm just like, we were a little crestfallen because ironically, we're going to Quebec, which we're about to as well next week. But we were a little crestfallen because we had to leave because it was midnight and it was going to take probably until about 3-something in the morning to get to Quebec City, and you had to go do press at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I remember.
So we had to leave kind of prematurely, and it's kind of nice to know that there's a situation that exists in the world now where that feeling of unfinished business doesn't have to feel so unfinished. So that's cool.
And you know who's touring with them? Biohazard.
Whoa, shit, really? Do you get to see Biohazard again?
Same night as Triumph, though, in Montreal.
Oh, dude.
I know. So it's like, anyways. So I'm thinking
every time you try to see Biohazard, the universe takes a shit in your shoes. It's really funny.
I'm thinking I might have to go to that Triumph show in Ottawa on the 2nd of May. And
that makes sense.
I think I'm going to have to do that. Anyways, first world problems, but definitely check out April 1. Tickets are on sale now for that tour with Triumph. Thanks for being on the show, Brian. We really appreciate it. Thanks to my co-host, Ryan Stick. Thank you to our producer, Julia Kajerski. And next week on the show, I guess we should announce it because it's going to be a lot of fun. Nirvana, the band, the show, the Canadian mockumentary TV show that everybody was a huge fan of for the years that it was on. I have a movie out called Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. And it's coming out in theaters next week. And we recorded this interview with Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll at the end of 2025, and we were asked to sit on it. So we've been sitting on this for a while. It was so much fun chatting with them. So much fun. Like at the end of it, they were like, we should hang out. It was like really fun. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be on the show next week. And subscribe, give us suggestions if we want to hear. And until next time, we'll see you on the Rockman Power Hour.